Hey everyone, welcome to this very first episode of Coffee with Tim. I'm so excited to have you here with us today. This is a brand new space where we are going to be sharing our very first or very own teammates, the people behind the screens, their stories, and the work we admire every day. We will hear directly from them what is it like to be part of Team International in their own words, in their own roles. So today we have here Marcel. And Marcel is not just a talented engineer, but he's also one of our top technical interviewers here at Team International. Marcel has worked across several industries, led countless interviews, and has a unique perspective on what makes a great candidate and a great interview. So welcome, Marcel. Welcome to this episode today. How are you today? Where are you joining from?
I'm based in Brazil, so I'm right now in Rio, and yeah, I am so excited to have this conversation with you today, and I really wish our talk can help another candidate to prepare yourself for their process and finally find the dream job and start working as in an international company.
That's great. That's awesome. We're also so excited to have you here. Before we dive in, I want to have a little warm up game. Please, I'm asking to our audience to please type in the chat what is the first thing that comes to your mind when you hear technical interview. Is it nerves, total blank mind? Maybe you start rehearsing answers in your head? Be honest. We listen and we don't judge here. We are reading your answers in real time, so drop them in. This is a safe space. We are all here to learn and grow together. Perfect. So with that said, all right. Keep them coming. Keep the answers coming. As I mentioned, we are here today with Marcel. Marcel, to kick things off, can you tell us about like a little about your background, about yourself, about how you jump into this industry?
Yeah, sure. My career in beginning had a lot of gaps in my technical experience because the first experience every time are the most hard opportunity to get. And to solve this problem, I invest in my own business and get my own client, a small project, and construct my begin by myself. And during this process, I find my first opportunity in Brazilian company as a software house, not a consulting company, and start working in big project. And this process was growing, and I was finding new and more huge opportunity, more complex project. And for now, my last process was in the Team International, and this one was my first experience in an international process. And yeah, I have no experience on it because that was my first opportunity in international project, and I feel so nervous, and that process was hard. And 2023, I decide I can do that by myself. So I create a network in a mentoring, a Giga Pro, and there I find my mentors and other colleagues with the same goals. And this was much more easy because I practice daily and prepare myself to the process, and I increase my English skills and practice mock interview. And yeah, I prepare myself to this hard process. And when I was fired, my last opportunity, that was terrible to me because I had two children, and I married, and I am the man provider in my home. And yeah, that was a terrible moment. And to be honest, this process make me feel free, but the main point was I was prepared because I prepared myself during 1 year in a mentoring, and my relocation was in an international opportunity because I was prepared to this. And when I was fired, I just apply what I learned, and I I I received excellent feedback from the recruiters saying I was pretty good in the process, in the dynamic of the interviews, and my English skills was totally fine for my position, and I started working in international company. And the secret to have a happy end for this history was be prepared. So this is the secret. We need to prepare ourselves because when we need to apply our knowledge, if we don't prepare before, maybe we will fail and pay higher. And yeah, this is my history to achieve this current position. And it was amazing.
I know. Oh my god, I didn't know that. I mean, it sounds like you are the perfect person to help us unpack the human side of a technical interviewer or a technical interviews because you've been there. I mean, you've been
Yeah.
there and so many times, and you've been there like wondering or maybe thinking like our audience is thinking, if maybe if I say something wrong, I'm done, it's over. But it is not like that, and that's the conversation I want us to have today. First things first, Marcel, what types of interviews do you conduct here in Team International? It is live coding, system design, behavioral. What do you do to evaluate our candidates?
Yeah, for now, the Team International are caring about the first step of in the process. We have, for example, the fit cultural with the AR team, and the second meeting are with the technical one. In this case, I am doing this job, and in this interview, we will cover theory questions about the technology related to the role, and this will be the first technical step. And with a pool of questions, we will ensure the seniority of the candidate and also validate the fluency of the English. And uh, next steps in the process can be different depending of the client. But in general, we have code challenge, and these steps I don't conducting yet, but we are preparing me to do that. So I have meet with the client to understand how they apply this kind of challenge, and what is the criteria to make sure and evaluate the candidate. So the Team International will start to conduct this step also. And yeah, for now, we are planning only these two steps. But as I mentioned, I have experience to apply more different types of interviews. For example, whiteboard and uh, the format when you create a project and we we make a share screen and explain the approach to solve a challenge that was sent previously. And yeah, I think these four formats. So we have theory question, code challenge. It's in the format live coding, and we have whiteboard. This is a more architectural, and we also have the the review. It's like a code review of deliverable, the candidate code at home, and we analyze the architecture and the patterns and all approach the candidate apply in the challenge. And yeah, the main point for this one is um, understand the good practice and the patterns and the strategy of the candidate. Yeah, each format we are analyzing one skills. We have one main point to make sure about the candidate.
That is great. I love to hear that you are also learning like new ways of evaluating candidates. Like Team International, they are preparing you to have these new skills or new evaluation process, and that is great because that makes me realize that we are all in a learning process, just as your candidates are, you are, and also me. Right now I'm learning so much from interviews and technical process here in team. What would you say that separates a great interview from an average one?
Hmm. Yeah, it's a good question. Maybe in the case of technical question, the theory question, we will uh, evaluate some criteria. Um, the first one will be the ability to share your idea and speak clearly. And this is important to be concise, clear, and objectivity. And the second point, we will make sure the level of the technical perspective of the candidate. For example, if you're making a question for a junior and a mid-level and a senior, you will face different response because they have different experience. And when you are interviewing a senior candidate, the expectation for this one is a more technical answer, and maybe with um, some experience and share how face a problem and how handle with this case, and explain why choose the technology instead another one. And sometimes in this moment the answer depends, makes sense. And if you need more context, ask to the interviewer to give a closed context, and you answer based on a specific scenario, because we know in different situations we will have different solutions, and will depend uh, the circumstance of the scenario, which technology, which approach, which pattern, which architecture we will choose for the project. So it's important to understand these. And yeah, I think the last uh, important thing to keep in mind is the confidence. When you answer the question, but you sound unsure, it's not good to you. And if you don't know something, you can say, I don't know that. So let's go to the next question, because we know it is impossible to know everything. But if you are comfortable to say, oh, this I have just a little experience, and I'm not comfortable to answer this question, it's totally fine. It's um, sound it's make a perception about your skills. You know a lot of things, but when you don't know, you don't try to lie or create a verbal answer um, to look like one knows, but we know you don't know the answer. You are just trying to active the correct answer, but you don't know. So if you say I don't know, it's better than try to simulate a correct answer when you don't know this.
I love that you mentioned that because I think that advice, it's a great advice because it's a very undervalued or underestimated advice, but it is really important when you are in a technical interview. You can have um, this confidence just to recognize that we are all human and that we don't know everything. So having that confidence, that I think that is almost like a gift, like a soft skill. You having this confidence to ask your interviewer, hey, you don't know, you know what, I don't have the answer here. And that is great that you are mentioning that. You said before that when you were in your early careers, you were struggling with this first opportunity, and now you are mentioning that you expect different things for different seniority levels, right? So what are you really looking for in a technical interview for a junior developer, a mid-level developer, and a senior developer? I know we have many profiles here today with us. Maybe you can give an advice to a junior developer, to a mid-level developer, and to a senior profile, just to they can keep that in mind when they are answering to these technical interview questions.
Okay, for the juniors, first, when I'm preparing a technical interview, I separate questions related to the seniority. So when I asking for a senior, I will care about pattern architectural and complex decisions and problem solving. When I'm asking questions to a junior, I will focus on the principles, technology, principal libraries. For example, if I'm conducting a React interview for a junior position, I will make questions related to features of React and how I can um, create a function or control a component with states. I will focus on the basically more on the code. So the juniors skills, it's a piece of the process. So we will focus on the code, focus on the libraries, and um, I will make sure the ability of the candidate to be open to feedback, to working team, how are the process of the candidate to learn, um, if uh, if the junior have experience with a small project, personal project, it's important because okay, you are a junior, you don't have experience, but you are saying to me you know React, but okay, what you create with React? You create a site or an application, a small application, which problem you solve, and yeah, explain how structure the project and the requirement about the technical explanation will be more lower. So we will understand the candidates will focus on the code and we will validate these because when the candidate start their career, they will learn how the things are related and how the architectural structure works and how we integrate all layer of the application. But if you try to make questions to a junior about these, maybe they don't will have success. So let's focus on the closed scope, on the code and the libraries and this context. The mid-level, it's more it's more across junior and senior because we will ask questions about architectural, about patterns, and we will sometimes make the same questions we do to a senior position. But depending the level of the answer of the candidate will be classified as a mid-level or a senior. But sometimes the questions are the same, but um, the quality of the answer will tell me, oh, they have an idea how the automatization testing works. They have an idea how microservices are architected. But if he had the responsibility to structure the architecture or define how the things will have a communication and how we will monitor these, maybe Uh, the candidates understand how the things works, but are not available to define the configuration, the architectural decision. So in this case, when the candidate have a more basic answer and can explain why and how, which technology, which service, it's look like, okay, this guy have experience. And the seniority is this. We the mid-level and the senior know the things, but the senior have more experience, have more problem solving, face more issues. These make the difference between a mid-level and a senior one.
That's great. I love the way you are explaining this to us because this is a great insight. I mean, you are putting in a balance this maybe this idea we have before technical interviews about, oh my god, I need to have this perfect code, I need to answer everything straight and everything just as I memorized. But you are thinking, you are also sharing with us the other part of the answers, that is the problem solving process, right? That we have to keep in mind when we are answering to an interviewer. And talking about balance, I just want to know if you have considered, or how do you balance technical skills with soft skills, because I know there are many good profiles, technical profiles with great skills, but sometimes, or I don't know if you have experienced this, but have you, maybe you have experienced an interview with a person when you say, oh my god, this person has great technical skills, but what about the soft skills? And that, it's that like a game changer for that person? It's that, like, it's that important?
Yeah, sure. In case of a senior position, it's matter much more because a senior one will handle with um, team, different stakeholders, different that will be a cross function team relation. So we'll need to uh, have a clear conversation with a PO, with a designer, with your team, and you need to teach your junior, make code review, and have a strategy to give feedback. And yeah, you need to manage a lot of different scenarios with different kind of persons. So it's very important to a senior position have a soft skills. Um, if you wanna be a team leader, is it's matter. If you wanna be a technical one and you wanna be the best analyst and focus on the technical perspective, we have space in the market. But to be honest, most part of the opportunities required from the senior one a good leader skills because the clients want to have a teammate prepared to face problems, resolve conflicts, and handle with technical questions. These will have a variation in different kind of projects, but some position in the job description they ask for criteria about soft skills, communication, and uh, easy managing relations. So it is important in the higher position. It's matter more, and for junior and mid level, it's matter also. But the participation in the process will be more lower. So the junior is important to be open to feedback and have the motivation to learn and get experience. So this exciting initiative will help the junior because the company, when they want a junior position, uh, they are looking for a candidate looking for growth in the company. So this engagement will help the junior. And yeah, um, have a clear and objective conversation will help also. And in the mid level, it's important to uh, have a good relationship with colleagues, be able to do pair programming, and okay, you will have the opportunity to help junior also. This is more to the senior one, but sometimes the mid level help juniors and other mid levels in their challenge, and this will show to your team you are prepared to the next level. So it's important to the mid level also. In case of senior, it is more required. But if as a mid-level you have a good relationship with your colleagues, a clear communication, a manage of your emotion, and this will open opportunity to you to grow inside your current company, or if you invest in these skills and participate in an external process to another position, you will look like a senior, but you don't are a senior, but you look like a senior, and get a opportunity in another company. Maybe you can get a senior position if you are prepared.
That is so nice. I think that is a great like development opportunity around that field, and I think this is also like a growing industry. Technology field is always growing, and you having the opportunity to develop these soft skills, this ability to connect better with the people, to give a good feedback in a better way, to work side by side with the people you work like every day, but doing it in a very good way, or having this great work environment that makes things just better. And I think the industry has been changing a lot. For example, when I started working with tech, I remember it was like faster. I would say like the hiring process and everything. But now I see there are even like cultural fit interviews. So the companies really want to make sure that it is not just your technical skills and the technical the technical skills you have, but also the soft skills, the way you connect with people, the way you connect with your team. That is why many companies, including our company Team International, we prioritize this work environment, and that's why we do these team building activities and everything, so we can make sure that people is connecting in the better way and developing those soft skills. That is great that you mentioned that. Here in the chat we have one great answer about the things that we say before a technical interview, and one of the people from the audience said, please no coding challenges. Why do you think people is so afraid of coding challenges? I think maybe it is because you are on the spotlight, but you have to deal with this big challenge. You don't know what is going to happen. You don't know what's the challenge about. Maybe you've never seen that challenge. I know there are some platforms, right, to help you prepare for those challenges. Would you recommend something to prepare our audience to have a successful coding challenge activity?
Yeah, sure. I think the main problem in the code challenge is because we are adulting the AI to write the code for us. And these create a new problem. What is this problem? We forget how to sometimes structure the logic or the syntax of the language, and sometimes we don't know how to write complex algorithms because the AI are doing this for us. But when we are conducting a process, the coding challenge makes sense because, okay, you can use AI assistant when you are working, but to have a great outcomes of the AI assistant, it's important to you understand what the AI are doing. So what is a bad code? What is uh, optimized performance and strategy to solve the problem? How you organize your code? How you organize your idea and your logic to solve the problem? It's matter. So the code talent is necessary to understand if the candidate is able to, okay, you can use AI, but you know how to write the code. You know how to have a business case and read the description and understand the requirements and create logical solution to achieve the objective of the challenge. It is important. You can use AI during your job, but in the process, we need to make sure your ability to write code and solve problems. And in this format of code challenge interview, we will analyze your thinking path. So how you thinking about the problem, how you start your process to solve, and how you test your progress. And sometimes we don't want a better solution. We don't want a production version. We just want to watch you thinking about the problem, solving and writing the code with hands on. It's matter because, okay, you will use AI in daily activity, but if the AI are off, you are not able to write code. It's not acceptable. You is important. If the server of OpenAI is off, you need to keep working. So okay, the AI can increase your performance, but you can't depend the AI to write codes. So because of that, I think this format it's very important because we will make sure your logic think. We will make sure your code quality and how you test and you evolve your approach, your logic approach. And yeah, it makes sense. And my recommendation for you guys is practice your uh, logic solving with a platform like Code. And we have another one, but I forget right now. But we have platform where you can face challenge, easy to hard and complex challenge, and you can solve the easy one. When you did a pull of easy, you go to the medium one and active more complex algorithm, because this will help you to identify the solution of AI makes sense. Uh, if the approach of AI are performatic, and you don't will depend of the AI. This will be a tool, but it's not a requirement for you deliver your code.
Thank you, Marcel. I think we can add something here. And I think it's about thinking out loud. Like when you are doing this live code exercise, please don't assume that your tech interviewer knows everything that you are thinking, because maybe you can get to a solution together. You can say, oh my God, I don't have the answer now, but the approach is very important. For your technical interviewer, it's going to be very important to understand how you think, right? How are you thinking? How are you trying to solve the exercise? And I think that is going to add some point during the interview. That's a
Exactly.
great way
This,
to
yeah,
prepare
just a
yourself.
complementation. This format, we are evaluating the process. Okay, the results matter, but the process is much more important, because we approve candidates where the candidate don't finish the challenge, but the process was clear and he share the ideas and structure the code clearly, And okay, don't finish the challenge because the time is over, but the process was good. And the candidate can pass without a conclusion of the challenge because we are evaluating uh, a lot of another things, not only the outcomes of the challenge.
Yeah, that's great. I mean, I've seen many like feedback for from interviews because I have been recommending some people for working here at Team International, and every time the recruiter shares the feedback with me, and I can see sometimes like the very kind words of a technical interviewer saying like, okay, maybe it's not the time right now, but this person had this approach during the interview, made these good comments. It's you can notice from the call that there is this motivation, there is this need for improvement, but you can see the openness to the feedback you are sharing, and that is a great way to prepare before a technical interview, like preparing this live coding exercise. Maybe you can add two more tips to prepare before a technical interview.
Mm, yep, you can, for example, mock this challenge, explaining for nobody. So you start the code challenge in list code, for example, and during your process to write the code, try to say higher what you are thinking. So you have a listener and you are explaining your approach, your strategy, your logic thinking, and this will prepare you to a real scenario. So simulation of mock challenge will help you to be prepared. And how much more, the second tip is how much more you do this, more easy will be. So if you want to have excellent performance in a real interview, practice how much more you are able to do. Because when you go to the real scenario, this will be just one more time. So that will be more easy and you will feel more confident because it's just one more time. You are familiar with this format. You already do this many times. So this is my second tip.
That is so nice. It's lovely to see that we have these kind of technical interviewers here that really try to make this experience for a candidate very empathetic and very fair, very comfortable. And I would also like to ask you if you could, because I know we have also interviewers here in the audience. Maybe you have some advice for them, like what is the best way to assess a candidate's potential beyond the technical skills, or how do you create this fair experience for them, and maybe someone can get inspired by that way to produce this space.
Okay, for the interviewer, my process to conduct the interview, as I mentioned, the AI tools is important to increase the quality of our outcomes. So I have formats to use AI in my process. Basically, when I will prepare my question for an interview, I have an agent in the ChatGPT, and this agent have a lot of context and what is the outcomes from the format of my questions, and I take the job description, and the job description will be the input for this script, and the outcome will be a pool of questions related to the technicals and soft skills for these specific rules. And to conduct my interview, um, I I ask the question to the candidate, and if the candidates don't clearly understand the question, I help the candidate with a different perspective of the question, because my main goal when I conducting an interview is help the candidate to achieve 100% of the potential of the candidate. So what I can do to help the candidate to do a great job, I will do. So I try to help the candidate. And I when in the perspective of the team international, I'm looking for the candidates have a good fit cultural with the team international, so to represent the team international with the client. And when I'm thinking about the client, I'm looking for the perfect match for the position the clients are trying uh, to 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 contract. So I keep in mind these three-person when I conduct an interview. The candidate, because it's a dream of the candidate, they are looking for the opportunity, and these will change their life. So I need to help them to achieve 100% of their potential. And I want to represent Team International as an interviewer and find the best candidate to represent the Team International. And also, I want to solve the problem of our clients. With this in mind, I try to help the candidate explaining the question clearly. And if the candidate miss the point, I take the candidate to the correct way again. Say, oh no, okay, it's not the answer I'm looking for. Let's focus on this perspective and try to help the candidate to achieve the best answer for the question. Uh, and when I note the candidates are not prepared, but we have 1 hour together, and I use this time to help the candidate. In the middle of the interview, I'm already know the candidate are not prepared. But okay, I have 3 minutes with the candidate. How I can help the candidate to be more prepared in the future and performance better. So sometimes when I identify the candidate are not a match because maybe about the seniority, I use my time with him or her to teach her or him to answer in the better way, the better form, how performance better. And I would have a higher technical one, but without a clear and objective answer. And I said to candidate, okay, you have a lot of knowledge, but let's try to create an answer more clear. Let's manage our time of the meeting, of the interview, manage better our time. And because we have a pool of questions, if we spend a lot of time in a question, we don't have time to cover other important questions for the rules. So I try to help the candidates in the process. And the outcome of the interview is the transcription. So I use the transcription of the team, and I cut the transcription and pass in below the question because I will have this document. And in the end of the interview, I write a personal feedback from my perspective about the candidates. And I use the questions, the transcriptions, and my feedback and the job description as input in another script, in another prompt in the agent, and the agent will have the outcomes in the format of my form, because I will fill a form with the feedback of the candidate, and this script structure this report in the format what is expected from the team international, and I review line by line. I read everything. Sometimes I fix or complement, but this is my process. And doing this, I can achieve excellent accuracy because I can have the assistant of AI to help me to make sure the English skills, the level of the technical answer, and I increase with my personal feedback and wrap all of this in a report, and we are doing this way.
That is great. I love the way you are explaining this to us and the way you are letting us be like inside of your head for this space. That is great. And I one thing I forgot before that when you were talking about the artificial intelligence and everything related to applying that to your hiring process, to your interviews, I want to ask the audience if maybe they would like to have also a session about that, because we have some people here working with artificial intelligence, and we also have a technical interviewer working with artificial intelligence, and also side by side with the recruitment team. So maybe we can have this space if you want the people in the audience. But that is great to also understand, now that we go back to the answer you just give us, Marcel. That is great to understand that you are developing some abilities to have a great space with your candidates. And that is something I would like to ask. I mean, we are wrapping up this session, but maybe if you could share with us like a surprising or unexpected skill maybe that you've learned while being a technical interviewer that you now apply to your personal life, to your personal relationships, or yeah, we just wanna get to the human part of that role for the people that are here with us.
Um, I think I don't clearly understand your question. Can you say again?
Yes, of course. You didn't hear me.
Yeah, yeah, I hear you very well, but I think I misunderstood the main point of the question.
Oh yeah, maybe you were talking about you have to help the well, you always try to help the candidates during the process, trying to help them answer the questions you are making to them. Maybe that's an unexpected skill that you learned while being a technical interviewer, and that you now apply to your personal life, like trying to help people, or I don't know if you have experienced a funny moment when you say, oh, this is just like a hiring process, this is just like I would approach this situation in a hiring process.
Okay, I think experience in my life that remember me in the higher process. I think it's not happen, but what I can say is um, the motivation to help another people it's growing in me because uh, I know how it's hard to achieve our goals, and we have personal life, we have our talent, we have our uh, different situations. Everyone have their how can I say have their challenge in their life. So when I face someone and I can help him with my experience or for example in the college I help other colleagues with the task and with LinkedIn approach, and if I can help another one to achieve their objective, I like to do that. Because of that, I creating an initiative in my personal Instagram, and I open my personal Instagram to be a public one because I want to share my experience and my knowledge and help another candidate to be prepared to their challenge in the process to find a new position. And yeah, I think it is more a mindset from my side. So um, I like to help the other people, and this is my how can I say that my philanthropic initiative. So helping other people without expectation. Yeah, I think I increase these conducting the interviews because when I start a meeting, I face with a candidate, and I look to him, to their eyes, and I can feel their nervous feelings, and I can know they are excited to start a new journey. So I create this connection. So because of that, I want more to help other people, uh, as I need in the past, and I had excellent person. They helped me in this process, and I open thank you for Gus. This guy helped me, teaching me that he was my mentor, and Marcus also, and these two guys helped me to active my my international position, and as was given to me, I want to give it to another one.
That is lovely, Marcel. Thank you for sharing that with us. I mean, I can tell when you start helping people, and especially in your case, that you are like growing this community you have. It is like it becomes like a chain. Just like you mentioned, it is like a chain because someone help you and give you all their knowledge, and now you are trying to expand that to many people. That's why you are here today with us. That's why you have your personal account sharing these tips. And now that you mention, and now that we are running out of time, maybe it is a
Mhm.
good time, a good close to invite our listeners to follow your account, your personal account, your maybe you want to share with them a little bit about what are you doing there. I know you also have some live sessions to share with them. You prepare that with so much love for serve people that really need that little push. So maybe
Mhm.
you can share a little bit about that with us, and we will be inviting everyone here to join you in that account.
Yeah, my account, my ID in Instagram, right, is brasileiro.dev. It's Brazilian in Portuguese, brasileiro dot dev, the contraction of developer.
That is great. There you have it. Brasileiro.dev.
Yeah.
Perfect. Perfect. I just posted in the chat so everyone can know. Thank you, Marcel. Thank you for this space. This is great to have you here. It was a great space for all of us. I learned a lot. I just hope all our audience also learned a lot with you today. If you want to add something, this is the moment. If you want to ask something to Marcel, please leave your comments, your questions here, and we'll be answering to them. But yeah, I think we have had this very special space today, and it is been great. I think we have learned a lot. Thank you for sharing your knowledge, Marcel. Thank you for sharing your experiences, your real stories. I told you once that it is great to have people like you being part of the team, because you are always trying to help, always trying to share what you know, and that is just great to have people like that. And this is also an invitation to be like that, to be like you. I hope someone can get inspired as well to share what they know, to share everything with the people around.
Yeah, that was a pleasure. So thank you for this opportunity, and you can count with me if you need. And yeah, let's create a great community, and let's helping uh, and grow. Let's helping one another and growing together. That will be great for everyone, I think. So it's a excellent network to keep in touch.
Thank you, Marcel. Well, this is just a reminder for our audience to go follow us, follow our account, follow this new series that we are having, this Coffee with Team series, because we are just, this is just the beginning. We are just starting with these episodes, so we are going to keep sharing some more, much more things. And of course we are going to have a post, so you can ask there what topic or what do you need to know, what else would you like to see in the next episode, so we can prepare and we can bring you an expert here, just like Marcel, and we will be very happy to prepare that next session. Marcel, I hope you enjoy this call. Once I received feedback from a candidate, now that I remember, and he said, look, you don't enjoy all the interviews, but the best interviews are the ones that you can enjoy, that you, the ones that you learn from as well. So it is great to have people like you having leading these spaces, leading these interviews, and that is great. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you to everyone in the audience. We had a really good time. I hope you too in your wherever you are connecting from.
Okay, thank you once again. Bye.
Thank you, Marcel. Bye bye.